Oh, we're back live. What's up? We got 5 people in the chat already? That's what's up. We'll wait till people start loading up. Everybody already know I already did the film review. And we're doing right now, this is for the people that have watched the film. So right now we're going to be spoiling things for you. Because YouTube had this, well, I've already predicted that. I'm gonna tell you a whole bunch of stuff in here that you finna learn about what's finna go down with the Tupac film. So I'm glad I'm letting everybody load up. It's the live chat. Everybody in here has a voice. So we finna get into it. And we're going to let everybody in here know flat out what went wrong. All the stuff you want to talk about, we could talk about it right here. Thank you, thank you. Glad you appreciate the shirt. This is my Superman shirt. I put it on, I do my Superman thing. I never responded to you. Okay, Marvin, what's going on? And Marvin Thomas on Facebook, he's selling hoodies. So you can go to Marvin Thomas page on Facebook. He's selling some hoodies. Go check out his hoodies. Check them out. I don't know what they going for, so don't ask me. How would I rate the movie on a scale of 1 to 10? I would say a 4. I would rate the movie as a 4. Oh, that's the same Marvin Thomas? From Ohio? Well, here's the problem, and this is what I told people in advance, that this is going to probably have the most lawsuits in history. But, because I knew it was coming. They just want to see what the film is going to gross. Everybody wants to hit me up now. Let me close that. Alright, let's get into the film. Now, the Tupac film, All Eyez on Me, was made because, 4 out of 10. He said on a scale from 1 to 10, where would I rank it? I give it a 4. And the reason why is because, like I told you in the original one, they didn't elaborate on anything. Okay, they didn't elaborate on certain parts of the film that was very vital. There were a lot of information in the Tupac film that was left out that should have been explored or at least discussed. There's a lot of situations that was going on. Like, people had put a hit out on Tupac. They didn't even get into that. That was very vital. Tupac had a wife. Tupac was married one time in his life. And that was never in the film. Never in the movie. I mean, how do you do that? Now, I'm going to tell you why they probably omitted it from the film. They omitted it from the film because Tupac married her only so he could get visits for her in prison. That was the only way he could get visits if he had a spouse. He could get conjugal visits. So he married her to take care of the business, so when he got out of jail, they got the marriage annulled. But it was a critical moment in jail that they didn't even focus on, really. They focused on a story in jail from this guy talking to Tupac who gets into a knife fight. We don't know his name. We don't know nothing about this guy. But I loved it because it was Clifton Powell, my man Pinky. Take care of you. Now, he played that part to the T. I love that part. But there were a lot of things missing. Well, see, here's the thing. Stretch is not... If you put Stretch in the film, if Stretch did anything, if he sneezed one time the wrong way, my brother would have never sneezed like that. I'm suing. So, to put Stretch in it, early on, yeah, I could see when Stretch was helping him out in New York. Like, Stretch was really helping him out when he first came out to New York with Thug Life and everything. They were really booking shows strictly for my niggas. When he made Strictly for My Niggas and all that stuff, when Stretch was right there for all of it. Now, what you're going to end up seeing now because of this fallout from this movie here is you're going to see 45 Tupac movies. This is what happens next. Y'all getting to hear it first from me. You're going to see 45 Tupac movies. Get ready. They coming. You're going to see one on A&E. They're going to do a crime movie on him on A&E, Unsolved Mysteries. You're going to see somebody else do a biography. They're going to start right back with the DVDs coming out. It did good its first week. This weekend, you're going to see a dramatic drop because everybody was curious. The first week was curiosity, and that's what they wanted to do, was get everybody involved, to get the curious people. Let's get the curious minds. Now that you got the curious mind, you kind of don't need them nobody no more now. I was shocked from the people. The people that said it's dope are people who really never knew Tupac. That's just honest. Now, I'm not taking nothing away from the actors. The writing is very bad. The direction of the movie is very bad. It's choppy. It's too many scenes. You know, you got one scene that doesn't go anywhere. Like his homeboy in New York. And I know what they were trying to do, but they're not, LT Hutton is not used to making films. These guys, when they're making films, Benny Boone, they're directing it like it's a music video. They got his homie out here, Legs or whatever, beating down this guy. We don't know who is Legs, who he mean to him. It's not explained who Legs is at all. In the entire film, he's not explained. He comes there, he brings groceries. We assume that he's somebody that serves on the block. We got to assume that. Because he beats down a guy, get off my block. And Tupac is like watching it. So they're trying to give you the image of Tupac took a piece of Legs and put that in part of his life. That's why they did that. And they just cut away from that and go to the next scene. They don't elaborate on a lot of stuff in this movie. We don't know anything about Legs. He's cut away. Tupac goes from being in his mother's womb to being a teenager, the regular Tupac, in less than 3 minutes in the movie. That's what it felt like. It was like 1983, 1984, 1885. I'm like, we're going so fast. I'm like, you going so fast. All this stuff is not even explained. Like, what did they get Matulu for? What did he get arrested for? How did this fallout affect Tupac? When he got shot and he wanted to leave out of the hospital, where was Tretch to come get him out the hospital? Where was Naughty by Nature? You know? That's what I'm like, these guys that was there. How could you do this and not have Tretch? It don't make sense. No, this is why you don't see movies on, like, do you see an Elvis movie? Do you see a Michael Jackson movie? It's too much to put into a film. That's why they should have made a series on A&E or something where you could break it down and do piece by piece. I like how they did the story as if it was Tupac narrating his own life story from the Kevin Powell situation. I like the way they had that set up. The beginning, early on, that's cool. But there's a lot of things in there that they didn't elaborate on that happened during the time of Digital Underground. They kind of skipped through that. They took a couple of things that Shock told them and just put that in there and just omitted everything else that happened around him. Like the Marin City situation. They made that like a little 3-minute part of Tupac's life. Oh, of course, he saw what the film grossed. Now he wants to sue for $30 million. He's not going to get anything close to $30 million. They'll probably pay him off because they got a lot of silent investors into this film. See, the reason why they got silent investors is when you put silent investors in a project like this, what you're doing is everybody's collectively, and they're going to get money mostly off the back end. Snoop, that was Snoop's voice. Snoop did a voiceover of himself. I thought that's why I said this guy is the greatest voice impressionist of Snoop ever. Snoop, that is Snoop Dogg's voice. That's Snoop Dogg's father in the movie. Snoop is an investor in this. That's why they telling you go out and buy them, watch the movie and all this. Floyd is an investor in this. The Game. All these guys are investors into this film. Yeah, that's Snoop voice. Snoop did a voiceover. That's why I said I didn't know that was Kevin Powell is suing because of his Vibe interview, because they took exactly interps. You know, he didn't get credited for any of his work that he had licensed through Vibe magazine. This is what happened when you reenact things word by word about what happens from another article, and then you want to take it from them and not give them their proper credit. They thought they probably was protected, and they probably wasn't. They'll settle that in court, but he'll get nowhere near $30 million. That's never going to happen. That's why he set it so high. I mean, they went right into the death row thing and started, like, Pac had death row was all Tupac. Like, that was it for Tupac. And it's a shame because they made Tupac's whole career based off him getting shot. And that's it. They didn't show Tupac in the riots in 1992 and the LA riots after the O.J. Simpson verdict. When they were down there in the riots. That's well documented. They were recording the Strictly for My Niggas album when the riots was breaking out. And then they was like, man, Pac, when they went and jumped in part of the riot. They never really elaborated what happened with the police. They never even went down the avenue of the government's involvement in his case as far as his trial. They didn't elaborate. All they did was give you the final verdict of the trial and have Tupac's speech, and then that was it. These are the critical moments of Tupac's career. He was fighting for his life in court. He had just been shot outside of a studio. These things coincide with one another that are major events in his life. Now, I'm not saying the movie completely sucks. I mean, but to me, I can't. It's a once over, then I'll see it on cable. That's it for me. Because it's too choppy. They focus more on Kadada relationship with Tupac. They focus more on Jada Pickett. And Jada wasn't really a big part of Tupac's life like that no more. She wasn't. They were cool, but they never really talked that much. Once Tupac got big and started doing stuff, they talked off and on. Or when they seen each other. They never had any big thing where she was this monumental in his life. The poem he wrote was back when before he had left. When he was writing poems and stuff. This was way back when. Y'all, they make it look like this was his love interest for life. He wrote that poem years ago. A lot of people who liked the film are a lot of people who didn't know anything about Tupac. I mean, really nothing going into the film besides the music. Because Kadada's people are... Why do you think Rashida put out the phone interview? You see that? See what they did? YouTube comes along, knocks me off to knock off all the people I had because I had a lot of people online. You see what they just did? Just for that little bitty seconds of time, because I had a lot of people online, they got mad and knocked everybody off. Ain't that crazy? Now, when nothing wrong with the stream. The phone is still in the same place. Team Box Cutter. What show is this that I have? Oh, well, thank you. Now, the good parts about the film, I like what they showed about Ted Fields, because everybody makes it look like, oh, Ted Fields' daughter is the reason why Tupac got signed. Rashida put out the audio because she's a private investor as well. She's a silent investor of the film. The Quincy Jones and Kadada and all that stuff, so... Danny boy, why would you need me to call you? Nah, I haven't seen Tretch's interview. But that's what I'm saying. I like the way they did with Ted Fields, how he had to sell them on Brenda's Got a Baby. To actually put the song out. He had to sell himself. So that he can get on Interscope. To be able to convince him to do this. They never elaborate more on the Hit 'Em Up song at all. We never hear nothing about Hit 'Em Up at all. They glance over the Faith Evans situation. We hear really nothing about Hit 'Em Up. the fallout from Hit 'Em Up. Everything that was going on. We see reenactments. That's all it was about. We know that. We're not talking about that. I'm saying they put Ted Fields in his right perspective, meaning that throughout the film, you see Ted Fields didn't really have his best interest in hand when he called Ted Fields from jail and he wasn't even returning his phone calls. Ted Fields is always in the way, not treating him the way he was supposed to be treated as an artist. Ted Fields is like F him. He's just another artist on the label. Screw him. That's what I mean. A lot of scenes in there are factual. They're reenactments, actually. Because, I mean, a lot of the scenes in there you've already seen Tupac actually say himself or do. And they just had this guy reenact the same scenes. Like, Faith Evans wasn't in LA because she was working with some people. That was a complete lie. Faith Evans was in LA because she had got kicked off the tour with Biggie, Al Heyman's tour. Al Heyman gave Puffy the money for the entire tour, and she was mad because she didn't get her money. She wanted her money up front. And basically Puffy was giving them as the show go on, like, here's your money, show by show. And she was like, I want my whole thing. Al Heyman gave you all the money. I want all my money. I don't want you to put me on no salary. So that's what he was doing. Puff like, look, I'm paying you show by show. And then she fell out with Puffy over there, and then she got mad at Biggie. And Biggie like, look, when you mad at him, look, that's on you. So she got mad with Biggie, arguing before. So she left and went to L.A. to chill. And she was over there broke. Broke as a joke. And she was hanging out with Natasha from who was on Thug Life song. And she hung out with Pac and all them, so she was out there smoking, and that's how she met Pac. Natasha brought her there. And then she started hanging out with Pac while she was over there. At this time, people didn't know Biggie and Pac had a problem. Nobody knew they had a problem. Hit 'Em Up wasn't out yet. So it wasn't even a problem. Pac never let on that he had a problem. He just wasn't speaking with her. So it was just like an untold fact. He waited till his album blew up. Then things blew up. Yes, Natasha Walker. He waited till things blew up when he sold all these records. Now he felt he was in position to do something. Then came Hit 'Em Up. So a lot of people who don't know, who came in the Death Row era, didn't understand that process. Pac did not come out dissing people. And this is what people don't understand. You don't make dissing your comeback. You can't do that. You can't. If you come back dissing somebody, your diss song is your first song, you've already lost. Because now that's what everybody's expecting from you. They're not trying to hear the rest of your album. That's why he didn't want to do that. So Pac actually made the album first so you can listen to the songs and buy the songs and the records. Then came the diss song. He already was hinting around at doing it, but he went all out when Hit 'Em Up and put that out. That's why you never use dissing as your comeback. Because if you start off with that diss record, it's over. Everybody assumed Pac slept with her because she was all over Pac, flirting and doing all the flirty stuff with him and hanging around Pac, because that's what she do. Have you noticed? Look at all who our kids' father is. Producer, rapper, Biggie. She married Big in like 2 months. Come on. Right, and Pac was telling everybody he hit, but he really didn't hit. Faith is a different type of hoe. She's a hoe if you got something to offer. Now, here's the thing. Pac could have hit. Pac could have hit. But Pac didn't need to hit her. Pac did what he wanted to do. All he needed was the photograph with her. That would destroy him. You had the photograph. Suge took a photograph with Puffy's baby mom. They put out the magazine. They put out their own magazine. Bad Boy Can't Control They Women. Man, Puff was madder than a bear when that came out. Then here come Hit 'Em Up. Boom. That dropped, and then that caused a major division between the two. Adina Howard was a tease. She was the biggest freak in the world. Everybody was trying to get up with her when she put that song out. Everybody. But she was the biggest tease there was. She hung out with Pac and stuff, but she ain't never did nothing with Pac. She was like one of the homeboys, but she was a complete tease. Man, we saw her in Hawaii in 2000 for the Pro Bowl. She was down there for the Pro Bowl weekend. No, see, y'all don't understand. Tupac had a problem with David Kenner more than he had a problem with Death Row. He wanted to leave and do his own thing. That was true. So Suge made a proposition. Remember, I told you it's all in my videos. I told you, if you've seen my videos, it would blow this movie out of the water. I talked about the entire deal of Machiavelli Records. I told you exactly. Pac wanted to start his own thing, and he came with Death Row East. And like, here you go, Death Row East. I run in the West, you do the East. I told y'all that way before this movie came out. And Pac wasn't really... Yep, he wasn't really feeling it. Eric B was going to be in charge. He was going to be on there. It was a Melly Mel from Scorpio and all that. Melly Mel and Scorpio, they had them over there. He was trying to rebuild the East Coast by getting Smith and Wesson, all the other guys from the East Coast. He want to build his own East Side thing going and make a Death Row East. My man, Nice and Smooth, Greg Nice, he went and got him, put him on down with the movement. They had Devontae from Jodeci, and they had Casey and JoJo. Devontae ended up leaving because him and Suge got into it over rights, over the for the records and stuff. So once they fell out, that was it. I would normally say that didn't happen. But in Hollywood, you never know. People would do strange things for money. You'll see people who do strange things for money, buddy. Kid you not. Here's the thing about John Singleton. I don't know, John would have made a better movie. How factually it would have been, still would have been up for grabs. But he claims now this is John. John claims, hold on, let me make this turn. Now John sit there and claim that he was working with a Feeny before she died. And that's why LT ended up getting rid of him the second time, because they didn't want a Feeny nowhere near the project. And she was giving him input on things that she wanted in the film. Because the way they got the approval for the film was low down. The lawyer she had and she signed the contract to do, she didn't sign the contract to approve the film. She signed the contract to say that she had received information about it and they was going to go into negotiations. She didn't sign the paperwork for approval. They tricked her into doing it. And when she found out what the lawyer did, she went down there and filed a lawsuit and injunction. So that's why she was fighting the case. They tricked her into signing the contract. But you cut out Tupac's wife. How you cut out Tupac's wife? Tupac been married one time, and that was to Keisha. They downplayed it. They downplayed a lot of stuff, man. And that's why a lot of people felt a certain way about the film. Because they were like, man, well, I knew they weren't gonna put Jose Johnny J in there, because it was too much to cover. With Tupac, it was too much to cover. But you didn't see any of the drama with the rolling 60s and when he got out there. No real drama that showed him when he was with Oakland and what he really did with the Marin City. They went over that in less than 5 minutes. But critical moments in Tupac's life, you don't see no more. The stretch with Live Squad, the reason why he was out in LA, out in New York, and wasn't really dealing with dudes in LA too much no more. He had went to New York. And Biggie did not introduce him to Haitian Jack. That is a lie. They had Biggie in there introducing Tupac to Haitian Jack. That is a lie. What's on my head? A Band-Aid. One of Haitian Jack's homeboys who knew Haitian Jack and he knew Pac. and he brought Pac in there, and Haitian Jack didn't even care about seeing him. He was like, man, I don't care about no rapper, man. You know how many rappers come up in here? Like, who is Tupac? And he was like, no, man, he cool, man. Like, Pac cool. So he was like, all right, bring him in. It was nothing like how the movie had it. Nothing like the movie had it. Like, he was like, oh, man, like he was sweating Pac. That was never the case. They didn't elaborate on anything with Puffy, really. They had, I guess Puffy was like not in there really. If they had a guy in there who was gonna be Puffy, they didn't show him. I guess Puffy specifically was like, do not have me in this film. And then let's talk about the actual end. Because we still going strong, because there's things on there that a lot of people needed to know that wasn't told. But let's go about the end first. I want to go there because I'm really disappointed in the way it ended. The way it ended, it was like they ran out of money. When you see the film, it's like, did they run out of money and this is it? Because that was one of like the first things they filmed. When you do the movie, that's like one of the last things you film is like mostly the action scenes that you need cooperation from the streets. And that was one of the first scenes they did, was the actual shooting scene on the Vegas Strip. They concentrated so much on that climax of Tupac getting shot, and you see the smoke over him, and the ambulance lights is coming. They don't really elaborate on anything. How can you have that be the ending of the movie? He gets shot, Tupac died, and that was just the end. I'm like, are you nuts? What, he didn't die right there on the street. He lived for 6-7 more days. There was a lot of things going on during that time that was very vital. Like people living in his house and all the paperwork. You know, if he gonna live, what's gonna happen to him? The prognosis. Was he gonna make it? Was he not gonna make it? They had to take his lung out. Tupac lost a finger. None of you guys knew that. Tupac got his finger blown off. You guys didn't even know this. None of this stuff was explained. The people calling the hospital talking about they finna come finish the job. All this craziness was going on at the time. We not here to talk about who killed anybody. My man Pinky did his thing in the movie though. Hey man, I said turn it down. Now let's go through another critical part of the movie that they never even talk about. The Hughes brother incident. The Menace to Society piece. That was a huge event in Tupac's life. He fought 2 producers. You mean to tell me, out of all the people that was there, you had nobody's story? I told you, out of 1 to 10, I will give it a 4. And I'm not somebody who went in the movie looking to hate it. The thing is, if you never knew nothing about Tupac except for the music, you'll enjoy the film. Because there's nothing really wrong with the acting. It's just that the writing isn't that great. And they're doing reenactments. Most of the writing is actual things that Tupac said already that you've seen on the internet. And they're reenacting it so it looks like an A&E type movie. It was like I was watching First 48. I mean, how you not gonna have that in the movie? You don't have the Hughes brothers, the whole incident there. Oh yeah, that's when they show that when that one part when John Singleton dropped him from the movie. That's the only scene. He was like, man, so what John say? Oh, they dropped you from the movie, Pac. That was the only thing in there. And I didn't fault them for dropping Tupac for higher learning. He had to be dropped. Pac had to be dropped. I mean, they were gonna lose so much money that they didn't even have for the budget. And he was costing them too much money for them to proceed. And the studio, they were like, look, we're not gonna make him the lead actor in this movie. Because Tupac was gonna play Malik. Not Omar Epps. Tupac came up, Tupac now, the character as far as the backstory for Malik, being an athlete, going to college, they worked on this, the story was written by John Singleton, don't get that twisted. Now don't take that from John. John wrote the idea and the concept for it. What Tupac did, and this is why he was fighting in Menace to Society, is for his character, he wanted, in Menace to Society, he was playing Sharif. He wanted to know what made Sharif go and turn into a Muslim. And he was like, man, we need to show that. You know, my character needs some more backstory. Actors do that. Mostly good actors, they give their character a backstory and they tell it to themselves and it helps them act. It helps them act when they do that. They give a character a backstory, even if they have to make one up for themselves. If the writer just refused to write a story or some type of history to it. What Tupac was trying to do is get them to create and write on Menace to Society a backstory, a little bit about Sharif, to try to explain, like, man, you know, like what made him turn into a Muslim. You know, I don't want to be this Muslim guy walking around and everybody's gonna be like, well, wait, I wonder what happened to make him turn Muslim. And it's never explained. So I understand Tupac, if he wants to be in this film, he wanted his character to have more depth. Because he don't want to just be Tupac and he's barely in the movie and he's barely doing something. Because if you've seen Sharif's character, he really did nothing and then got smoked at the end. He made a couple of speeches and then just got murdered at the end. But he never really had any impact on the film. And you can't have Tupac in a movie and not have any impact on the film. So when he went to higher learning for Malik's character, he added more detail when he was talking with John about Malik's character. He was like, Malik should be conflicted. You know, he comes in there and he's gonna go through confliction because he never was prepared for how the college world was. Tupac, he didn't know how the college world was. John Singleton did. John knew about college life and what it looked like really on the inside, how racist it is and how segregated it is. And a lot of people don't know that, and they walk right into that world and they're not ready for it and they can get swallowed. Higher Learning is still one of the best movies ever made. Period. That's John Singleton's best film. Hands down. And what Tupac did was help with Malik's character as far as adding more depth to the character. So you knew a little bit something about Malik. And what it was is that Malik was very naive to the world. He didn't understand it. So anybody coming telling him information he didn't know, he absorbed it like a sponge. He went in there like, I'm going to be the best runner there is, and I ain't really got to work hard because I'm fly. I was fly in high school. Now you in college and you ain't the man no more. You got to really bust your butt and work. You know, things started to change on him real fast. So oh yeah, man, you gotta understand. I went to see that at the movies. The racial tension in there, they were ready to fight. I went in there with all brothers in there. You gotta understand, at this time, a girl kissing a girl, that wasn't normal. That wasn't the norm. That girl, the two girls about to kiss, the whole movie theater was no, oh my God. It was like they were blowing up. It was that serious. And then when Tyra Banks gets shot, are you kidding me? The impact of that? Deja? You know how many kids was named Deja because of Higher Learning? You know how many girls was named Deja? The girl you probably sleeping with right now, she was named after Higher Learning. I always love you, Deja. Deja was everybody's girl after that movie. And then the scene where the cops come and beat down Malik when he's fighting Remy and he choking Remy, they came and beat him down and told Remy to go walk away. Oh, the movie theater was finna get turned up. They was finna tear the movie theater up. If Remy didn't shoot himself and kill himself, they clapped when Remy shot and killed himself. And they came to get him. But still, they was talking and trying to calm him down, but they was beating up Malik. Beating him down. And that's still like that today. They'll beat a brother down in a minute. Everybody else, they'll try to calmly talk to him. And Rappaport is one of the coolest guys alive. I wish he was running for president. Man, that's Rappaport. He one of us. Like, it was hard to get work. The other actor that played the other KKK guy, John Singleton, put him in, he was the villain in Fast and Furious Part 2, Too Fast, Too Furious. John Singleton used to cast him in all his movies because he's a great actor. So, did I want a refund? No, it wasn't. It's not. I've seen worse movies, actually. I've seen movies that was complete dog crap. Tupac was gonna be in Star Wars. That Samuel Jackson took that part. Tupac was gonna be in a lot of things. He was getting his acting career going, thanks to Quincy Jones. I'm going to Hooters to see my friend. She works here at Hooters. She always wants me to stop by her job. It's gonna blow her mind when she sees me. Hey. How's it going? Oh, it's good. Is that my superstar friend?
What are you doing here? Where are you at? You back here?
Oh, I didn't
you
see
just walked
anywhere
in?
yet. Yep, just walked through the door.
Oh. What are you doing here?
Came in to surprise.
I'm very surprised. What did you do? Did you get hit on your head?
Oh no, I got this scar. I had this thing for a while, so trying to get it off. So, yeah, we talk about the Tupac movie. I'm on live chat.
Hi guys.
Come visit my friend and go order some food.
Yes, some beer. I want more. We need beer.
Oh, you need beer?
We need beer.
If you're old enough to drink, come drink some beer. If you're old enough to drink. In Cincinnati. You in Cincinnati? Well, you know you won't make it here in time. You can come tomorrow.
I'll be behind bar.
Okay, well, sit me wherever you need to sit me. Where?
Could you sit in my section for me, please? What was that? Could you sit in my section? Because I'm reading this in. I'm section 2. Oh, gotcha. Right this way, sir.
Alrighty. Sorry about that.
And I was watching that.
Yeah. Right there.
Okay, one over. I'm like, I knew she was really close. Alright.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I have very attractive friends. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and drink something. So I'll chat with y'all later.